During the most recent caution, Darrell Wallace Jr. comes to pit road twice, so he adds fuel and 2 tires on that number 6, so he relinquishes the lead, gives it to Chad Boat in the 98, getting off pit road first. Max Gresham will restart this one in second. Green flag back in the air.
Chad Boat in that 98 car, his dad, Billy Boat, longtime competitor in the IndyCar series.
And right behind those two battling for the lead, Dale Quarterly in the 32 stuck behind Chad Boat. Alex Bowman flying around the line outside in the Line X number 16.
Boy, Brett Moffitt in that 00 car tried to get a run off turn 2, but Darrell Quarterly in the 32 car shut the door. Here he comes again. Look at the run he gets through the middle of the corner.
Moffitt making it 3 wide, almost 3 wide as they came out of turn number 4. Chad Boat staying in that higher line as Dale Quarterly down at the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Moffitt once again to the high side. He's going to be able to get by the 98 of Chad Boat.
He has found some grip up there in that second groove, and he gets such a run off the corner onto the straightaway in that 00 car.
Brett Moffitt moves up into the 3rd spot. Now the battle for 4th. Quarterly's going to take it away from Chad Boat. Quarterly moves up to 4th. Chad Boat back to 5th.
You know, even though Dale Quarterly has 147 career starts in the K&N Series, early career on 2 wheels. He raced motorcycles on road courses.
A big transition for Dale Quarterly. We're seeing that transition trying to be made right now in the Camping World Truck Series by Ricky Carmichael after having such a great career on 2 wheels and now making the move to 4. Ricky Carmichael spent a lot of time in the K&N Pro Series-EAST trying to hone his skills before he went to the Camping World Truck Series. And the battle continuing here. Darrell Wallace Jr., after restarting 14th, is making his way up through the field now on the inside of Tanner Berryhill, looking to the inside of the 96 of Ben Kennedy.
And he's bringing his teammate Ryan Gifford in the 2, still with that left front rubbing on that car, trying to bring him up through the field with him.
Looks like the valance on the left front of that 2, Ryan Gifford, bent in just a little bit, maybe a little contact early on, or the transition on this racetrack is so abrupt that potentially he came down off the racetrack and pinched that valance down, and that's why we're seeing a little bit of the tire smoke out of the 2.
Yeah, we see it especially getting off in the corner when maybe he gets down on that black apron where it's definitely different, a degree of banking than the actual racing surface.
There's the difference between 1 and 2. Max Gresham out in front of Alex Bowman by about 6 car lengths and trying to extend that as we see the 00 of Brett Moffitt working back into the picture. But Max Gresham running for a championship and doing an impressive job of it early on.
Well, we talked about Alex Bowman in the 16 car. Looks like he will be the Sunoco Rookie of the Year here in 2011. Looking for his first win in this series, but he won an ARCA race earlier this year at Madison, Wisconsin.
Now the battle for 7th, Eddie McDonald and Darrell Wallace Jr. Darrell Wallace Jr. closing in on the back bumper of that 71. You see 2 wide racing behind him. Ryan Gifford trying to hold off the 30 of Jeff Anton. So Darrell Wallace Jr. able to get by Eddie McDonald. This WADA car is still battling for position. Sergio Pena on the inside of Matt DiBenedetto trying to get that position away as we see Jeff Anton running way up the racetrack.
Well, it looks like all the drivers from Revolution Racing, Darrell Wallace, Ryan Gifford, Sergio Pena, they elected not only to take fuel, as you can see, the 4 car of Sergio Pena really get loose there. It looks like they also elected to put some tires on this last caution.
Hoping to get a little more grip around the mile, the monster mile here at Dover. And Sergio Pena sideways once again as he goes through 1 and 2. Matt DiBenedetto chasing behind in that 15. Right behind him, Jeff Anton in the 30. And now the 62 of Andrew Smith making his move toward the front.
You know, speaking of Jeff Anton in the 30, he actually is the driver that loaned Dale Quarterly that engine to put in his 32 car when Dale had the engine problem in practice.
Had to start at the rear of the field, but has been able to make his way up toward the front as we see Eddie McDonald just in front of him. Ben Kennedy in the 96 and Ryan Gifford in the 2. Chasing his race car up the racetrack. John Salemi in the 21 just behind him. Side by side once again for position. DiBenedetto on the inside. Sergio Pena on the outside. Pena able to clear DiBenedetto as they go down the backstretch.
DiBenedetto is actually the track record holder here. He did it back in 2009 when he was driving for Joe Gibbs Racing.
And Joe Gibbs Racing, a lot of success in the K&N Pro Series-EAST. We talked about the 2 title contenders, Max Gresham and Brett Moffitt, both riding for Joe Gibbs Racing a year ago. Good side-by-side battle here. Gifford, up the racetrack, little contact with Ben Kennedy. Big into the wall. Rick Godovic hits the wall hard. That's going to bring out our 4th caution. The 64 of Godovic, a lot of damage to that race car.
Yeah, poor Rick Godovic. He scraped the wall qualifying, had to go to the rear of the field to start.
We'll be right back with more from Dover. Welcome back to Dover International Speedway. A little congestion on pit road as we see Brett Moffitt and Max Gresham trying to make their way off of pit road, as well as Darrell Wallace Jr. Coming back onto pit road was the 18 of Max Gresham.
But just remember the rules. You can only fuel or change 2 tires on a single pit stop.
Cannot do both. Green flag comes back out. We're back underway at Dover. Closing in on the halfway point of this race. Eddie McDonald in the 71, Dale Quarterly in the 32. A couple veterans driving up front here, side by side. Quarterly is going to have the advantage as they go down the backstretch. Problems early on in this one, though. That's the 30 of Jeff Anton getting sideways. Anton gets sideways into the inside wall. Does he keep it going? He does.
Yeah, it looks like no caution. Jeff Anton has had 3 consecutive top 10 finishes here from 2006, 2008. He's got his work cut out for him today.
Dale Quarterly jumps out front, though. He is leading the race here at Dover. Behind him in that 62 is Andrew Smith. Now you see Brett Moffitt working the high side with Gresham just behind him now. That's exactly what Brett Moffitt wants. He wants to be in front of the 18. Hopefully his destiny is in his own hands.
Well, we're right at the halfway point, so we've got 70-something laps to go. We know with these drivers coming to pit road and getting that fuel that they can make it now on fuel. You can run 90 to 100 laps here on a tank of Sunoco race fuel.
So fuel should be out of the equation now, as everyone should be able to make it to the checkered flag if we go the scheduled distance of 150 laps. And we see Brett Moffitt working through the slower traffic now as he goes by Benny Gordon in the 66, trying to make his way back up toward the front. Alex Bowman in that 16 also working to the inside of the 29 of Brennan Newberry.
Of course, these guys just trying to get back to the front. You know, you have these double file restarts in this series like Sprint Cup. What I can see today, they are very exciting when we have these double file restarts.
Takes your breath away. Dale Quarterly now trying to hold on to the lead as we see Ryan Gifford working to the inside and trying to take away that top spot. Gifford still with a little tire smoke coming out of the left front. Stays right on the bottom of the racetrack as we see Quarterly running just a bit higher. Battle for position. Darrell Wallace Jr. looking to the inside of the 4 of Sergio Pena. And it looks as though Gifford will take the top spot away from Quarterly. So now Ryan Gifford in front of the field.
So we've got about 3 of the Revolution Racing drivers up there in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th positions.
Looking impressive as the battle for 3rd is between teammates. Darrell Wallace Jr. trying to chase down that 4 of Sergio Pena.
You know, Revolution Racing, they've won almost half the races. It looks like possibly the 4-car Sergio Pena looks like he may have engine failure. Almost gets into his teammate Darrell Wallace as he comes off the racetrack.
Running in the 3rd spot, Sergio Pena blows the engine. Darrell Wallace Jr. able to sneak by, but a little damage to the front end. So Sergio Pena, a difficult end to the 2011 season. Welcome back to Dover International Speedway. Just before Sergio Pena's engine blew, the 00 Brett Moffitt got into the wall. You see his crew working on that race car to make it better. When he restarted in 15th. We're moving ahead in our coverage 25 laps. At 104, Brett Moffitt back in the top 5. Ryan Gifford, Max Gresham, your top 2 as they come out of turn number 4. Green flag goes back in the air.
You know, as far as Brett Moffitt in that 00 car, we talked about this being the fastest racetrack this series goes to, and you saw him really focusing on that right front fender. Aerodynamics so critical at this fast 1-mile track.
And we have seen Brett Moffitt running the higher line, making it work for him, and they don't want anything to disrupt that line working because he may have to go by these 3 just in front of him if he wants to get out front and win a championship. Ryan Gifford looking to the inside of Max Gresham now.
Well, and we know in the grand scheme of things, Max Gresham in that 18 car, our points leader, coming in by 21 points. He just wants to make sure he keeps that 00 car of Brett Moffitt in the rearview mirror.
And right now, it's getting bigger in the rearview mirror. Brett Moffitt has been able to make the pass and move up into the 3rd spot as the battle for the lead continues. Gifford on the inside, Gresham on the outside. Gresham holding strong as he crosses the stripe just in front of Gifford. Here comes Brett Moffitt all over the back bumper of Ryan Gifford now.
Yeah, Brett Moffitt has led 447 laps this year, but he has yet to lead a lap here today. But he wants the lead so bad as this race is getting close to coming to an end.
He needs to lead the most laps, so he needs to get out front, lead a lap in the most laps, and win this race if he wants any chance of winning this championship, because Max Gresham running so strong out in front of the field right now.
And just remember, the K&N Pro Series-EAST, they have the point system that we used to have in Sprint Cup. Leading a lap is 5 points. Leading the most laps is an additional 5 points.
So that would be 10 points to knock off of that lead that Max Gresham had coming in. Again, it was 21 points that separated the top 2 in the point standings before the race started. And right now, Gresham out in front. We talked about he has everything to lose. Right now, he is coming true to what he talked about earlier. Being out front, trying to win this race and win the championship.
And another driver that has nothing to lose, Ryan Gifford, trying to get his first win of the year, as we're looking here at Fane Skinner in the 12 car, really getting stacked up behind Andrew Ranger in that 35 car. That 35 car is in trouble. It looks like he'll come to pit road.
He's trying to make the hard left turn onto pit road, and getting stuck behind him was the 15 of Matt DiBenedetto, as we see the top 3 continuing to race around the Monster Mile. It's Gresham right in front of Ryan Gifford. Gifford was trying the low line, wasn't working for him. Now he's fallen back behind Gresham, and Brett Moffitt in that 00 trying to reel him in as the top 3 run with about 4 car lengths in between each other.
You know, even though they got the aerodynamics straightened out on that 00 car, Brett Moffitt, I was a little concerned as he smacked the wall a little earlier. Was there any suspension damage? But his car is so fast right through the middle of the corner. Like right there is where his car, you can see him just gain on Ryan Gifford right through the middle of 3 and 4.
Really looks like he's able to pick up the throttle earlier than the other 2 that are in front of him right now, with Max Gresham and Ryan Gifford able to get back in the gas a little bit earlier and accelerate off of the corners.
And you know, this is a 1-mile racetrack, but you spend 2/3 of the time in the corner, and when you can pick the throttle up that early, it's a lot of miles per hour gain down these straightaways. Straightaways are actually pretty short.
Brett Moffitt trying to reel in the top 2. Gresham still leading. Ryan Gifford has closed the gap once again. He will try for the lead from Gresham.
You know, looking at Ryan Gifford, Dover, Delaware, in a K&N East Series car is a long way from dirt late models in Tennessee.
Yeah, and here's a kid who has finished second twice. So close 2 times, but never to victory lane in the K&N Pro Series-EAST, and now he's 1 car away from leading this race and potentially going on to his first win.
If he's going to pass Max Gresham in the 18, it's going to have to happen on the high side, because Max will not move off the bottom.
In this battle for 5th, short-lived between Darrell Wallace Jr. and Brennan Newberry. Darrell Wallace Jr. able to get out in front of Newberry, and now Newberry has Dale Quarterly looking to the inside. Quarterly's able to get by also, and he'll move up into the 6th spot. The lead still, Max Gresham has a car length over Ryan Gifford. Gifford on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to find the fast way around the 18.
Well, he got off the corner off turn 2 quite a bit better than the 18 car of Max Gresham. Just couldn't quite complete the pass down the back straightaway.
Here again, looking at the bottom of the racetrack. Gresham trying to close the door way up the racetrack. He slides. Here comes Ryan Gifford to the inside.
That was just enough to open the door at the bottom. Gifford takes the lead through 1 and 2. Looks like he just pull away from Max Gresham in the 18. Here comes Moffitt into 00. He wants that 2nd spot.
Brett Moffitt on the inside. He's going to take the position away from Max Gresham. So now Moffitt in front of Gresham. He wants a few other cars to get in between he and Gresham if he has a chance to win this championship.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier, Max Gresham wants to keep that 00 Brett Moffitt in his rearview mirror. As long as he can see him out the windshield with only him in front of him, he's in good shape.
Brett Moffitt running 2nd. It's Ryan Gifford looking for his first ever win in the K&N Pro Series-EAST.